Is Marvel back, right? Because after 2 episodes, I'm very impressed so far.
Fuck yeah!
Yes, there are some cracks, but considering it's been, 7 years since the Netflix show wrapped up, it felt like right at the start we jumped back straight into season 4. And then obviously things have changed. We have moved on with that time jump of 1 year onto basically what is the Disney Plus or the Disney version of Daredevil.
Would you say it's time for everyone to panic? Yes, I would, Ken.
I'm impressed so far. I think this isn't quite on the caliber of what we've saw for Netflix, right? And I don't think we're going to top that. But so far, compared to the rest of the Disney Plus crap we've had in the past, this is an epic start. We've had familiar faces returned. We've had some fresh new ones already. And by the looks of the trailers, we've got more to come.
Hell yes.
Episode 1 and 2 were pretty badass, and yes, they had a few flaws. But here's kind of hoping that the show carries the strengths that it's took from the Daredevil Netflix show and carries on this momentum and really nails that landing. Because most Disney Plus shows, Marvel shows at least, well, even Disney Plus in general, have failed to nail the landing. I think really, if I can remember correctly, only Loki season 2 has nailed the landing out of everything.
You're goddamn right.
So episode 1 kind of kicks off really with the trio. We all think it's going really great, and then suddenly, bam, we get that action, and that opening 15 minutes was peak Daredevil. It was incredible. So, comes out of nowhere. We've got Daredevil fighting Bullseye. That's pretty kick-ass, although some of the fighting choreography is a little bit naff. So, unfortunately, we get Foggy's death, which I thought was a massive shock. And to be honest, I didn't hear any rumours or any leaks about that happening. And I was really shocked at this. I thought that was a great start. Gives us real stakes. And then we get that great final shot of Daredevil's mask dropping to the floor from the roof with the D symbol. I thought that was a really nice little bit of a detail. And then obviously Daredevil throws Bullseye off the building and somehow survives. Now, I've got a suspicion, even though he's been captured, kind of detained, what we get afterwards with the court scene, I think we're going to see Bullseye again later on in the season. We must see him in the prison or something. So I thought that shot though of the helmet falling was a clear kind of reference to Netflix's Daredevil is dead, and we're now beginning almost a new show with Disney and Disney Plus. We would then jump straight into kind of that 1 year later. I would have loved to have seen the aftermath from Foggy's death. I would have loved to have seen the characters kind of interact from the events afterwards. Matt's frustrations, what does he do? How does he react? How does Daredevil react? It still looks like Matt's haunted by this death, and he set up this new law firm with Kirsten, sets him up with Heather, who's going to be his new kind of psychiatrist, author, girlfriend, love interest going into the season. Because what we did have in between the Bullseye scene and kind of the new show, I guess, was the trial of Bullseye, where he gets sentenced, where we see Karen, and Karen's obviously not living in New York. Then we jump to Wilson Fisk.
He's the GOAT! The GOAT!
It's been a few years since he's been on the scene. We did then see Vanessa, who honestly, them two together played an incredible couple, power couple, like the definition of a power couple in the Netflix Daredevil. But she's a bit of a boss bitch now, and I kind of half feel like it's ruining her characterization. I really loved the dynamic, the kind of do or die dynamic that she had with Kingpin, with Fisk in the previous seasons of Daredevil. Now it's I don't get them going against each other. Yes, I can understand her motivations for being pissed off, but I think they've done her wrong there. She's a great actress, but they've done her wrong. So their relationship isn't quite where it was in the Netflix show. I am unhappy that they've turned her into a boss bitch. What I kind of didn't like is I got the impression that Fisk is basically being cooked or shat all over by Vanessa. I really don't like that dynamic because you need the Kingpin to be basically an indestructible villain. ultimately, you can't knock him down a peg or two, I don't think. He needs to be a villain that is kind of bulletproof. And right now, we're seeing some dinks in his armor, and we're seeing some weaknesses, and people are exploiting those weaknesses. And I don't think that early doors, I don't think we should be seeing that. So, yeah, I am really dead against what they've done with Vanessa's character, because I think her and Fisk in the Netflix show were just absolutely badass as a couple. We also had the diner scene, which was arguably the best scene, or it was the best conversation scene of the episode, and that did remind me of the politicking and all the other stuff from seasons 1 to 3. We don't get much from Karen. We get her in the courthouse early doors, but then obviously we find out that her and Matt have kind of broken up over the death of Foggy, and now she's living in, I think it was San Francisco. We do get a reference to another vigilante in a white costume. We get an influx of new characters, which I'm not really going to go over about. I'm just going to focus on the main ones, really. But it's definitely a move away from the Netflix trio onto more of a just Fisk versus Matt, i.e. Daredevil versus Kingpin, really. But undoubtedly, Fisk and Matt are the standouts for episode 1.
Nice.
Episode 2, let's jump in straight in there. It is a lot slower, but it starts to really explore the main character arcs for this season. We find out Fisk has been appointed mayor, and that kind of happens quite quickly in the episode. But I'm glad that they just kind of got that over and done with, and he can start being mayor. And then he attends the police commissioner or a police funeral, and kind of have a bit of beef with the police commissioner. He makes that speech as well to the people of New York City and denounces vigilantes, but he also calls out, which I think was great, Daredevil, the Punisher, Spider-Man, and I think he calls out the White Tiger. Fuck yeah! But he's clear that that's what his political message is going to be about, really. Doing what he can for the people of New York, but also making sure that these vigilantes don't take over the city, really. As for Matt, we're introduced to Hector. He beats up some undercover cops. He then kills one, and I think he just dips off. Turns out he is the White Tiger, and now he's up for murder and manslaughter charges, and Matt wants to represent him. He overhears this in the court. He overhears that he's going to get an unfair trial, so he steps in to help Hector, which I think is great, kind of undercover vigilantes helping each other outside of wearing their masks. I think that's really good. And that's kind of where most of episode 2 kind of leads us, really. Matt's starting to take over Hector's case. Fisk has been appointed mayor. He's already got some beef with the police commissioner. And I think it was the last shot we had of episode 2. We ended up with seeing Vanessa and Fisk going to marriage counselling with none other than Heather, who is Matt's new girlfriend, which I think was a great ending. So that brings us on to episode 3. Yeah, really looking forward to it. If you enjoy the content, consider dropping a like and subscribe so you never miss an upload. Catch you on the next one. Cheers.